My fingers brushed the stranger's shoulder, and with one smooth push, I shifted him aside. Now it was just me and Jihoon. I tilted my head, letting a slow smile curl at my lips. Then splash, the wine hit him square across the face, dripping down his jaw, staining his shirt. Gasps rippled through the room. His mouth opened just slightly, then shut again. He didn't wipe it, didn't flinch. He just closed his eyes for half a beat before looking at me like a lion deciding whether to strike or savor the hunt.
Congratulazioni, Mr. Jeon, on becoming Capo.
Earlier that evening, the weather was dull today. Streetlights flickered against the gray sky, and the air carried the constant hum of cars, bikes, and buses rushing past. My driver, however, paid no mind to the people walking along the road. His only focus was getting me home safely. Of course, he didn't know I had lied about college today. I just couldn't face it. I didn't like the idea of power, especially the kind that came with being the Mafia principessa. I leaned my head against the closed car window, shutting my eyes. No fresh air, no escape. I couldn't help but wonder, what if someone suddenly fired a shot through the glass? I'd be dead before I knew it, and my brother would burn the entire city to ashes, along with himself, just to avenge me. The sudden jolt of the brakes threw me forward. I caught myself just in time. Sorry, principessa. Mr. Smith stopped mid-sentence and pointed ahead. Through the windshield, I saw 3 massive trucks rolling into our mansion gates. I knew exactly what they were carrying: guns, bullets, and every weapon that kept our empire alive. I had to stop. You okay, principessa? He said again. I hated that word, especially outside these walls. I wasn't a principessa, not in the way people thought. Without replying, I stepped out of the car. Workers were unloading heavy wooden crates, their strained movements telling me just how much weight they carried. A crooked smile touched my lips, and I folded my arms across my chest. The car door clicked shut behind me, and Mr. Smith appeared at my side again. I'm fine, Mr. Smith. Are you planning to spare my life? I asked dryly, sarcasm lacing my voice. The frustration was gnawing at me. Everywhere I went, there was always someone watching: security teams, chauffeurs, attendants, an endless line of people assigned to follow me. I had stopped counting long ago. No matter where I turned, a shadow was always at my back. My brothers called it protection. I called it a cage. I pushed the car door open, grabbed my bag, and walked through the gates without saying another word. Oh, I thought mercy finally found its way into your heart this time. Guess I was wrong. As a matter of fact, by the time I entered the mansion, I knew something sinister was unfolding. They spoke of death with the same ease people discussed the weather. Ah, there they were. Ren Walker lounged across the couch, one leg crossed over the other, arrogance radiating from him as though he had been born to rule the world. Beside him, Kyler Walker leaned in, their low voices threading together like the plotting of kings. When Ren heard my footsteps, he stilled. My brothers could sense me before they even saw me, like wolves picking up a scent in the wind. He turned his head toward the door where I stood. A curl of smoke drifted from his hand. He rested his cigarette on the rim of a coffee cup, the gray ash hanging precariously over the edge. His gaze drifted toward the couch, the smallest tilt of his head, telling me, "Come here." I walked over and sank down beside him. He wrapped one arm around me in a loose, familiar embrace. Seems my principessa isn't too fond of the comfort of home anymore. Concealing things from Ren Walker, or lying to him, was practically inviting your own misery. He could read people's expressions as if they were written in plain ink. And me? I was his sister. After all, I had been raised by those men. Now you're talking about something completely pointless, like trying to screw a flying bird mid-air, Kyler said, shaking his head. I glanced at him from the corner of my eye. He winked. Language, Kyler, Ren said, and I smiled. Kyler was the one who always stepped in for me, always pulled me out when things got too sharp. But I wasn't ready for another argument. Ren's fingers moved softly through my hair. I knew this wasn't the right time to argue. My arms stayed around him, my head resting against his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. My eyes were lowered, fixed on my nails, which looked faintly dirty under the light. Ren tilted his chin down, his gaze following mine, and noticed them. I know you weren't in college. I took a slow breath, breaking the hug as if his words had just irritated me. My gaze shifted past him to where my chauffeur stood waiting. I arched a brow and turned toward Ren. Guess I'm too important to go anywhere without a chauffeur. I kept my eyes locked on his, one eyebrow raised in challenge. The slight annoyance on my face would have been obvious to my brothers. Kyler, unlike most people, stayed calm until things slipped out of his control. That much was true. Nova, why don't you go back to your room and prepare for the La Familia feast? La Familia feast sucked. Now I had to face all the brothers together, along with those infuriating people who weren't even family. La Familia feast wasn't just a celebration. It was an annual gathering where so-called businessmen, men dressed in tailored suits and charming smiles, revealed what they truly were, mafia bosses. It was an excuse to drink, flaunt power, and announce any changes in leadership. This year, I knew Jihoon Jeon would take his place as a leader. I hated him most of all. Typical. I'm invited to parties before I even get a say in it. I pushed to my feet and grabbed my bag. But I'm taking the payout. I want an expensive dress. Ren's eyes stayed on me the entire time I walked past him, heading straight for the lift beside the stairs. I didn't need to look back to know Kyler was watching too. I know, I said coolly, still not turning around. Now you both are going to sit there and talk about me. A small pause. Nova is this, Nova is that. I added, voice laced with sarcasm. Go on, I can hear you. The lift doors slid shut before either of them could react. I didn't hate what they did for a living. I knew the truth of their struggle. When we were left with empty skies above us, empty stomachs, and emptier days, when I was just 5 years old. Blood or not, I never truly belonged to them. I was born from a mistake. Our father had betrayed their mother during their adolescent years, shattering whatever was left of their childhood. And yet, they had treated me as one of their own. When Ren was only 14, we lost everything. Somehow they rose from beggars to the most feared and respected businessmen in the city. In my room, I tossed my bag onto the couch and fell backward onto my bed, my arms flung wide, my legs dangling off the edge. I stared up, thoughts drifting to the tangled mystery of my family. I loved them more than anyone in the world. The buzz of my phone cut through the quiet. Bella. It had to be Bella. She always called after one of our reckless adventures, like the bumpy road trip we'd survived barely an hour ago. We bunked classes today. My brother had no idea. He knew I'd been around, but not where. And that's exactly how I wanted to keep it. The phone was only 5 inches away, yet I couldn't be bothered to reach for it. Instead, I tugged at the corner of my bedsheet, dragging it closer inch by inch, until the phone slid into my hand. Bella Brooks, my best friend, my shameless flirt who could probably charm a brick wall if given the chance. Bella. Hey bitch, who is that guy behind us? I swear he was staring at you. See? She'd sent a photo. I opened it, zoomed in, and froze. Oh shit. Jihoon Jeon. He never appeared without a reason. And that terrified me more than seeing him there. How had I not seen him? Those two clans hated each other. I deleted the photo before my brother ever got the chance to see it. Bella. What the hell, Walker's principessa? Bella. Why are you shutting me out? Bella, care to explain what your problem is? I wasn't ignoring her. I was in shock. Me, I can't deal with this right now, I typed. But Bella being Bella, she doubled down. Bella, don't stop. Now tell me everything. I'm not letting you walk away like this. God really had a twisted sense of humor, dropping me into messes like these. Fine, I could handle it. I always could. Me, I need to get ready for the La Familia feast. Sorry, Belle. I silenced the phone and tossed it aside, burying my face in my hands. Fuck you, Jihoon Jeon. Earlier that afternoon, the memory dragged me back. Goddamn, Nova, are you serious? You know your brothers, Ruby Dawson had said. I know my brothers, I'd answered, and I know they'll handle it if something went wrong. But that place, it's heaven, I'd added, grinning at the thought. Are you sure there'll be boys there? Because without boys, that place sucks, Bella had said, swiping lipstick across her lips. She'd been holding a tiny mirror in one hand, adjusting her hair with the other. Knowing her, She'd probably hooked up with someone moments before. She was practically glowing with post-trouble energy. I'd sighed loud enough to make my annoyance clear, then reached over and tapped the back of her head. Her hair fell over her face, and her mirror clattered to the floor. We were squashed together on one of those two small benches meant for two. "What's her problem, ho?" she'd snapped. My jaw dropped. What the hell had she just said? She didn't even hesitate, just threw the weirdest insult I'd ever heard. Aid and Ruby were losing it, laughing like maniacs. "So, when are we going to bunk?" Aid had asked. "Right now," I declared. "But how?" Ruby asked. "Dumb people," she'd said, flipping her hair like a diva. "You can't get out of here without me." She was right, and she knew it. We'd all turned to her, waiting. Bella picked up her mirror, reapplied her lipstick, leaned on one hand, and raised an eyebrow. "Bathroom on the first floor, second one. Windows there, no guards, easy way out." This was it. We were going to the place, Cascate del Serio, Italy's most breathtaking waterfall. It was a furious torrent, but worth every risk. My brother would never have allowed it, which made it even better. Now thinking about it again, I smiled. Knock, knock. "Nova, we're leaving now. Get ready by 7:30. The footsteps faded. I lowered my head, grinning to myself. I was going to see him again. My lips curved slowly, and unlike everyone else, my gift would leave a mark.